Let's take you to events here in Paris, 24 hours on from the latest get-together, the so-called Coalition of the Willing, which is starting to take shape. This collective of European nations and others, including Canada, Turkey, Australia, they first met at the start of the month, trying to work out what support they could provide Ukraine in the new uncertainty of dealing with the US and Russia too, be edged out of peace talks. A key element of the group, led by Britain and France, is a peacekeeping force, now known as a reassurance force in the case of a truce, if and when that happens. Well, this was the family photo in the dappled sunshine of Paris yesterday evening. Well, the last 24 hours were about operational details, we're told. Who's in, who's out? Some countries, such as Turkey, Australia, Finland, appear committed, while others, such as Italy, Spain and Poland, say they're not sending troops. What about Europe's biggest economic might, Germany? In between governments, Armand Zorn is a member of the Social Democrat Party at the Bundestag. Great to have you on the programme, Armand. First of all, just set out for us where Germany stands in sending troops to Ukraine in the event of a truce. Will they be there alongside the Brits and the French?
Good evening, and thanks for the invite. I think it's too early to say from a German perspective. I think Germany is definitely going to be part of that coalition. We have been quite supportful when it came to supporting Ukraine in the last year, and I think Germany is going to continue to play a big role when it comes to supporting Ukraine in the future. But whether or not they're going to be German troops part of this coalition, I think that's quite early to say. As you know, we're currently also talking about our coalition agreement here in Germany. So I think you may know that there's still some issues that are controversial. And I believe that once we find an agreement on the coalition agreement here in Germany, the issue of how can we continue to support Ukraine is definitely going to be also one of the first topics to talk about.
Do you sense there's an unease amongst your colleagues within the party about the idea of committing to troops on the ground?
No, I don't think so, because it's always about the context. I mean, when you're looking at the Social Democratic Party in the last 4 years, I think we have made clear that we support Ukraine. We had made clear that we need to be one of the biggest supporters when it comes to military support, to financial support, to humanitarian support. And the question of sending troops to Ukraine was not up to date until recently. And now that we see a new situation, I think we are willing to talk and discuss about it. But at the end of the day, it's about finding a good solution for Ukraine, not for Germany. But I think when you're looking at what is necessary right now, there are a lot of things that we can bring to the table as Federal Republic of Germany. And it's going to be part of the discussion to understand what's the biggest contribution we can make. And I think my political party is ready and willing to be part of the discussion as well.
When you say too early, it's too early because you're in the midst of forming the new coalition with Friedrich Merz as Chancellor, or it's too early in a sense of where we are in the conflict? It's too early because there's no truce in sight or immediate sight?
No, my personal opinion is too early when it comes to the situation in Ukraine and with Russia right now. I think we are witnessing a change of the situation almost every other day. If you look to all the different statements made by President Trump or by President Putin, you see that it's kind of clear, it's kind of hard to say whether we have a situation that will allow us to talk about peace, and what kind of peace are we talking about. So I think we need to be prepared, and that's why I appreciate the current proposals we are talking about. But I also believe things are going to change dramatically. So I just warn that we shouldn't go into one direction and believing this is it, as much as there's not such things as one instrument that is going to save the situation right now. But my point of view, the opinion of my political party is that there are so many things at the table. Let's think about how can we have more options, more pathway that can lead to peace. And I'm quite sure that Germany will play a central role when it comes to that.
The argument and those trying to persuade you, including the French and the Brits, and including President Zelensky talking to the media this week, saying that he hopes to speak to Friedrich Merz and convince him to get troops involved. He doesn't think it's too early. Those around Keir Starmer in the UK say part of this is to say to the US, we have a ready-made plan that we can look and monitor maybe 60, 70 contact points, firefight points around 1,200 kilometres of front line. And if not now, then when? The readiness is all. Do you see their argument?
Yeah, I absolutely see that argument, and don't get me wrong. It's not that we are completely against it. It's not like that we're against it at all. I'm just trying to make clear that when we're looking at the current situation, or we're talking about peace, I think there's not such things as a one-size-fits-all solution. So I believe this can be a major support when it comes to Ukraine, and I believe that Germany is going to have to make that discussion. The current situation in Germany with the current government being built. The entire situation and discussion in the German society right now. So I believe that in order to have the support of the German public, it's also quite important to have that discussion. So I understand that obviously things are going quite quickly and the entire world is not waiting for Germany. But I truly believe that if we're talking about German troops' involvement in the Ukraine, we should also have a public discussion about it in Germany.
What did you make of Steve Witkoff's comments, the key interlocutor on Ukraine, saying that there are too many in Europe that feel like they are heroes, like they are Churchills? Helpful?
I don't want to comment on that. When I look at Europe, and when I look at European countries right now, I see a lot of European countries and a lot of leaders and also societies being ready to support Ukraine, being ready to find a solution, being ready to achieve peace. So that's how I look at it.
Great to talk to you this evening, Armand, with a beautiful looking panorama behind you as well. Armand Zorn from the SPD. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Stay with us here on France 24. We'll be back in just a moment.